Perfect. Okay. And you spoke there about where you would invest time based on the success of each of those inputs, but can you share an example of ABX driving revenue? So I guess a use case or a case study, what worked? What did you learn?
Yeah, gosh, I could think of a bunch of them.
You can
One
share
come,
more than one if it's difficult to pick one.
yeah, no, I could pick one, and I could kind of start with the scenario that we first started with was, and we come in during a chapter in the book, so the chapters could be 3 or 4 chapters into the book, and then we're coming in on chapter 5. So in this case, this company tried to do account based, went through a big acquisition of technology, and was like, we can't get any measurement for our ABX initiatives. The technology is not good. And then we got parachuted into that situation after they had failed to roll out an account based strategy. Now, the way we kind of re engaged that or pivot that and saw the business value, and it was a process. First and foremost, we looked at the data and we realized that the technology that they had and the data didn't match up. So the technology couldn't recognize a lot of their internal data. And because of that disconnect, the technology was not super valuable for their specific use case until they improved their data. That was a process to kind of educate people on, because a lot of times people think, hey, I just bought the technology. It's like a light switch. Boom. Why am I not doing account based? Well, your internal data was in such bad shape that it didn't matter what platform you put on it, you're going to have this frustration. So once we started showing how the technology worked relative to the data and saw, could connect those dots, the light bulbs went on. So that was the first step. The second step was we relaunched the pilot. We got very tight KPIs, agreement, definitions around what success looked like, who we were going after, how we were going after, and we involved the SDR, BDR team and leaders right out of the jump, but it was a subset. So we started with a smaller subset. From that point, we iterated while we were improving the data, because improving the data is a process, as you're well aware of Dealfront. You never arrive with data. You just kind of continually improve it. After that point, we started seeing success. And the SDR, BDRs were like, hey, the platform's actually pulling out really good prospective accounts for us that are indeed in market, and a very small percentage of your target market, call it somewhere between 5 and 10%, are in market at any one point in time. But when they started seeing success, then the word got out. We did some subsequent use case training with the SDR BDRs, and then we started seeing the revenue starting to flow from that one particular segment of the market that they were focused on. That was probably a 6 to 12 month horizon that I just described in 4 minutes, but it was a bit of a process, and they definitely saw value of the technology that they invested in, the SDRs that they were spending money on, their outreach efforts, the platform that I was saying the technology right out of the jump, but the platform was giving the right information. So that's when they started seeing the business benefit and the tangible benefit of the initiative.